Hi, my name is Ivan Uy. I am Intel APJ Sales Account Manager covering embedded and IoT business in Australia, New Zealand, and Singapore. Welcome, and thank you for attending today's IQ Roads webinar featuring iOmniscient and hosted by Intel. Dr. Rustam, CEO of iOmniscient, will talk about their intelligent traffic system for safety and efficiency. My colleague Dinesh Devendra, Field Application Engineer, will share with you the key features of Intel Cascade Lake Xeon platform. Before we get started, we would like to bring to your attention Intel's notices and disclaimer as shown in this slide. Kindly note that Intel does not control or audit third-party data. You should consult other sources to evaluate accuracy. I would also want to share with you Intel's human rights principles. At Intel, the ethical development and deployment of our products, tools, and technologies are an essential element of our Intel's global human rights principles. Intel is committed to respecting human rights and avoiding complicity in human rights abuses. Intel products and software are intended only to be used in applications that do not cause or contribute to a violation of an internationally recognized human right. More information on Intel's global human rights principle can be found at intel.com. Now, without further ado, I will let Dr. Rustam to tell us more about iOmniscient's Intel market-ready solution, IQ Roads. IQ Roads is developed on Intel Core and Intel Xeon platforms and optimized on Intel OpenVINO. Dr. Rustam.
Hello. I'm sure you can read the attached disclaimer notice. Today we are going to talk about our intelligent traffic system called IQ Roads. It is one of Intel's market-ready solutions. Incidentally, everything we do is exclusively on Intel. We do not use GPUs or other types of hardware from any other supplier. There are several major things that are compelling about the IQ Roads system. First, iOmniscient topped in Gartner's list as having the most comprehensive AI-based video analytics portfolio in the world. It includes patented capabilities that are not available from anyone else. One of these is a patented smart compression system that enables it to operate even in environments with very poor network bandwidth. And of course, iOmniscient has a long track record of implementing such systems worldwide. We have done IQ Roads projects in many countries, from China to India and from Canada to Dubai. IQ Roads comes in two flavors: a starter pack, which can already do everything that you can get from any other supplier. And then we provide a genius pack, which includes patented capabilities that are only available from iOmniscient. So let us talk about the core technology. We provide artificial intelligence-based multi-sensory analytics. Humans use their eyes, their ears, their nose, and similarly, we do video, sound, and smell analytics. So if someone falls down, you can say, go and help them, he has fallen down. But if you hear a gunshot at the same time, you would say, don't go there, somebody has a gun. So you can respond differently. The technology has been universally recognized. Last year, Gartner rated us #1 worldwide in terms of the comprehensiveness of our portfolio. We won the Global Challenge for Crowded Places, run by the UK Home Office. Not a surprise, as we have the patents on handling crowded scenes. No one else can do that. And so on. We've won awards on every continent, and we keep winning them every year.
Oh, that's great to hear, Dr. Rustam. iOmniscient has deployed many smart city solutions globally. I'm sure that you had been asked this question many, many times on privacy protection. Can you tell us more on how you address this concern?
Well, I want to emphasize that our system is GDPR compliant. GDPR is the European Union legislation on privacy protection, and we comply with it. All faces, number plates, etc., can be redacted, and only authorized persons can reverse this redaction. But it does not prevent the system from doing its work. Okay, so let us see how the overall technology works with a short video.
iOmniscient's speciality is the ability to provide multiple video analytics in very complex scenes. As you can see, a person has dropped a bag. He has abandoned it and he is walking away. The bag is being obscured by people walking in front of it and it is hardly visible. The system has found the bag. This is our speciality. We can cope with situations where the object is significantly obscured. We now do the jump to event, which takes you back to the moment that the bag was first brought into the scene. It doesn't matter how long back that was. The system can see who left the bag, it can pull out his face and enroll him in the watch list. This face can then be transmitted to all the other cameras within the network. At this stage, we don't know who that person was, but we do have an image of him, and we can search for him across the various cameras in the network. Now, in this view, we have seen the person again, and we can pull out whatever additional information we have about the person. The next step is to track him. We can track him on different cameras where we have seen him, and we know that he is finally now at that last camera shown in red. From that point, we can find the nearest policeman, and the system sends the information to him on his smartphone. He will ask who this person is, and we can send him as much information as we have on him. He will ask what he has done, and we can send him the jump to event video. The entire process is patented. The ability to find a bag in a crowded scene, even where the bag is obscured, the ability to do the jump to event, and to see who left the bag there. The ability to do face recognition in a crowded scene in a totally uncontrolled environment. The ability to find the nearest policeman, and in fact this entire process of automated response is patented by iOmniscient.
In several cities where we have implemented this, with the average response time has reduced from 25 minutes to under 5 minutes, which reduces congestion, but is also important to the individual with his leg under the truck, as the ambulance can be there 20 minutes faster. iOmniscient has developed over 300 use cases like the one you just saw, incorporating its behavior analytics capability, which uniquely works in crowded environments. A face analytics system, which is privacy protected and also uniquely works in crowded scenes. And a multilingual license plate recognition system, which will work in 120 countries, in Chinese, in Arabic, in Thai, and so on. And of course, in all countries using English language plates.
Let us pause here for a minute. We would like to pose a poll question for the audience. Are you ready for such advanced technologies? A, yes. Planning to implement within 6 to 12 months. B, yes. Currently in evaluation stage. C, no.
Okay. IQ Roads consists of a large number of use cases, from counting and speed detection to red light violation. As I mentioned, there is a starter pack and a genius pack. I don't expect you to read this just now, but you can see that the list is long. And it goes on and on and on and on. Up to now, all the analytics had to be performed on fixed cameras. But a couple of years ago, we evolved a technology, also patented, that could work on moving cameras such as drones. And this is particularly useful for traffic management. This requires a new form of artificial intelligence. The first generation is what all of you have probably heard of called deep learning or machine learning. Beyond that, iOmniscient developed a capability called reasoning AI, which would work even where there were very small data sets for training the system. And now we have generation 3 called wild AI, which will work even when the camera itself is moving. For each of the many use cases, we have videos of the system being used in practice. Here is an example. And for automated response, we provide a system called the IQ Mobile, which enables everything that you previously did in a control room to be done on a smartphone. The cost of the control room is a huge cost that one can minimize.
Well, here we have another poll question for the audience. What is important for you? Is it A, having the best technology, B, getting the system at the lowest price, and C, value for money, even if it is not the lowest price?
For road systems, the major issues are the storage costs for the enormous amount of data one collects and the need to cope with low bandwidth networks. So for that, we have evolved a smart compression system that can compress at 90% on top of H.264, which is the current highest compression available within the industry, without losing any important details. So let me show you a video on how that is done. As you could see, we store the important details like faces and number plates at high resolution and hold the rest at low resolution. You don't need to see my shoes in high resolution to recognize me.
In this scene, you can see a car park. You can see a person who's loitering suspiciously, going from car to car, looking into car windows and so on. At the same time, a vehicle has come and stopped where it shouldn't be stopped in no parking zone. The system has detected the person loitering and it's zoomed in on him using a digital zoom. At the same time, the system has detected the car and using a digital zoom, it has identified it using the number plate. This convergent technology is patented and unique to iOmniscient. It allows the user to do multiple detections of people or vehicles in any scene and to identify them all at the same time.
Dr. Rustam, can you give us an example of this cost advantage?
Yes, as an example, we did a very large project in the Middle East where the customer said the technology is fantastic, but we have no money. We will purchase your software next year. We pointed out that they were planning to spend $2 million on cameras, on computers, and so on. And we convinced them to implement our software at the same time. Our software costs an additional $600,000. However, the whole project came in at only $1.8 million, as they saved $800,000 just on the storage. Today, everyone talks about the cloud, but how does one get high-resolution video to the cloud or to any central location on a low bandwidth network? We compress the video near the camera and we can send it to a central location. So our value proposition is that we can implement a smart system at a lower cost than a simple recording system. So right through, our focus is on always doing more with less. So our systems can be used before the event to predict what might happen, during the event to respond quickly, and after the event to investigate. We cover the full cycle from preemptive response to forensic analysis. We can provide the complete solution, cameras, software, and the computers. However, for customers with existing cameras, we work with their existing cameras, any brand, as long as they can see effectively.
Dr. Ruslan, before we talk more about IQ Road system architecture, I would like to ask Dinesh to talk about Intel Cascade Lake Xeon platform features that help to optimize IQ Road's performance.
Sure.
Dinesh, please.
Hey, thank you, Ivan. In the latest second generation of a Xeon scalable processor, inference enhancement is implemented with a deep learning boost. This second generation Intel Xeon scalable processor is designed to deliver significant work. More efficient AI deep learning acceleration is possible. A new Intel Advanced Vector Extension, that is AVX 512, 8-bit instructions are added onto this instruction set. Example, VPDP-BUSD is used to accelerate inference performance in the AI and deep learning segments. No hardware changes are required to support this Intel DL boost on Perley platforms, which supports the second generation Xeon CPUs. When you come to the software development tools, this support will be enabled through optimization on popular AI and deep learning frameworks. The most popular frameworks like TensorFlow, Caffe, and MaxNet, and Python, PyTorch, etc. These are all supported on the through the Cascade Lake deep learning boost features. Along with the Intel Math kernel libraries, deep neural network, etc., you can enhance the performance of the AI and deep learning applications. In Intel Xeon second generation CPUs, all the SKUs ranging from Xeon to Platinum, they all support this feature, Intel DL boost instructions. Over to you, Ivan.
Thank you, Dinesh. Dr. Rustam, can you tell us more how iOmniscient use Intel products and technology for IQ Road's solution architecture?
Here's the architecture. The cameras feed video into an edge device where we can do some minimal analytics and send alarm videos to a smartphone. We can also compress the video and send it from there to a central location, which may have access to large amounts of data, such as a list of all stolen cars. Of course, once you get all this rich data at one centralized source, we can start analyzing it. We convert all the raw data into what we call meaningful multimedia metadata, M3. And that can enable you to answer questions like, why do we always have accidents involving red cars at 9 in the morning? All the hardware comes from Intel. Our newest software is OpenVINO based. As you can see at the edge, we use Intel computers and Xeon RAID servers at the center. We don't often need GPUs, but when we do, we use Movidius and other Intel products. We have found customers do not buy technology. They buy solutions to their problems. So we have put together solution packs for 30 different industries. If you're in oil and gas, you get an oil and gas pack. If you're in retail, you get a retail pack, and so on. IQ Roads is one such pack focused on the intelligent traffic industry and on parking. When you put together solutions for roads and schools and hospitals and banks and bus companies and so on, and they all work as an integrated whole, that is when you have a truly smart city. We have done such projects in 60 countries around the world. We are partners with a number of technology companies. And we sell through partners. These are some of them. You can see some of them are worldwide, but we also have regional and local partners, about 450 of them in total.
Okay, we have a final poll question for the audience. What do you feel are the main challenges in implementing an intelligent traffic system in your territory? Is it A, poor network bandwidth, B, capital budget, C, operation budget, D, personnel who are experienced at implementing such system, E, others?
And now just a few words about us. We, iOmniscient, are the world's oldest independent video analytics company. As you can see, we do more than just video. We also do sound and smell analytics. Our technology is protected by almost 70 patents. So many of the things we talked about today, you cannot get from anyone else. And we can support our customers 24/7 worldwide. I hope this brief description helps you understand what we do. To summarize, with iOmniscient, you get lower costs in that you require fewer cameras, less storage, less network bandwidth, faster response times, and more accurate, timely, and meaningful information. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rostam, for a great and informative presentation on IQ Roads. I would also like to thank my colleague, Dinesh, for sharing the key benefits of Intel Cascade Lake Xeon platform for AI applications. Now we are going to answer the questions posted during the webinar. Please continue to post your question in the Q&A box, and we will answer as many as possible. To get us started, I have one question here. Just now we talked about iOmniscient's cost advantage. Can you illustrate why your system is always overall less expensive than competitive systems?
This is simple. We have designed the system to be computing light. We have designed the system to operate with fewer cameras. We have designed the system to require much less storage and network bandwidth. The savings in all this infrastructure is usually sufficient to pay for all the software. So we often say one can implement our smart system at a lower cost than a dumb system.
Here, another question for Dr. Rustam. Do you provide a service to help us or to help your customer to design the system?
Yes, we have found that few customers have real experience at implementing artificial intelligence-based traffic systems. And in fact, few system integrators and even consultants have such experience. As I mentioned, much of our technology is patented. So unless if these organizations have worked with us before, they would have no experience in this. Hence, we provide a full service to help customers design the system, determine how many cameras they would actually need, recommend on the camera placement, design the network, and in fact, on every aspect of the implementation of such systems.
Here I have a question for my colleague Dinesh. I think these two questions are quite related, so I'll combine them. So the first one is, what other ways Intel is contributing in the field of AI? And the second one is a follow-up question to you, Dinesh, will be, what Intel Xeon platform would you suggest if I want to build a server system for AI application?
Okay. So Intel is contributing in this field of AI in many ways. The main 4 different ways would be when you use Intel AI builders provided as a catalog for more than 100 optimized AI solutions. That is one of the way. And the second one would be Intel, along with the cloud service providers, to offer flexible AI instances to develop for the customers. And the third would be ready to develop end-to-end systems from OEM and the select solutions. And the select solution along with the OEM platforms. And the fourth would be the Intel Select solution exclusively provides the verified AI solution recipes based on the industrial standards and Intel hardware and technologies. These are the four ways that Intel is playing a major role in the development and adoption of the AI technologies. So the second question is like, what is the system requirement for this AI, right? If you have a platform with the second generation Cascade Lake CPUs, be it any SKU, right, from the entry level to the highest level, like bronze all the way to the platinum, on the second generation CPUs, along with the toolkits like OpenVINOs and development kits from Intel, like Intel MKL DNN libraries. You can now, when you install all this, you are now ready to develop any application of AI on this system, which will give you a performance as you are expecting, without adding any external or third-party add-on cards onto this.
Thank you, Dinesh. I got another question for Dr. Rustam. For the computing components of the solution, you mentioned about everything is designed on Intel. Is there any supplier do you use other than Intel?
We work exclusively with Intel. We do not use any other supplier. No AMD, no NVIDIA. Our software will only run on Intel.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rustam, for your great support for Intel products and technology. We have reached the end of the webinar, and thank you. I would like to say thank you to the audience for your valuable time and for joining us on the IQ Roads webinars. And also, thank you for your questions. Due to the limited time available, we are unable to answer all your questions. However, we will go through all of them and respond to you as soon as possible. We hope that you have learned more about iOmniscient's IQ Roads Intel Market Ready solution and how they apply Intel products and technology to optimize their solution performance. Once again, thank you, Dr. Rustam and Dinesh, for joining our webinar as speakers.
Thank you.
Should you require more information, feel free to reach us at insightsalesLMAPAC@intel.com or contact Dr. Rustam directly at rustam@iomni.ai. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.